Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of True Passion Outdoors. Thanks for tuning in today. If you haven't seen my channel before, we do about anything and everything outdoors. So if you don't mind, hit the subscribe button, help me out, hit the like button, tell your buddies, share it, whatever. Everything in this video today, I paid for myself. None of this is sponsored, none of it was given to me, this is everything I paid for. So today's video, we're going to be talking about and using this air compressor for the very first time. Now, I'm real big into air rifles, so I have only ever owned break barrel air rifles. I've owned pump action air rifles and everything like that, pellet guns. I've never owned a PCP, pre-charged pneumatic air rifle. Well, I finally bit the bullet and I bought one. So, we're going to be talking about that here in a little bit, but today's video is about this air compressor. Now, I have been reviewing and looking at a whole different genre of air compressors. I didn't feel like spending $500, $700, $1,000, $3,000, $2,000, whatever for an air compressor for a PCP air rifle. So, I bought this air compressor. The air compressor that I bought is a Spritech 4500 PSI portable PCP air gun compressor. And I'll tell you the reason why I bought this one right here is because it runs on a household outlet, 110 or 120 volts, and you can hook it up to the battery of your car. And the biggest selling point to me is that it's air cooled. There is no water cooling like the Young-Hang air compressors where you have to have a secondary water pump and a bucket of water, and it pumps water through the head of the second stage, high stage of the compressor to keep it controlled. This one right here has two fans on it, one humongous fan. So we're going to see if it works. At 80 degrees Celsius is the maximum it can get to. It goes into shutdown mode. And it's all computer controlled and it shuts down on its own. Now you can shut it down before then. You leave the fan running. There's two switches. You got the compressor switch and the fan switch. So let's take a look at this thing and look at everything that it came with, and yeah, we're going to try it out today and see how it works. I have not used it yet. I haven't even plugged it in. The air rifle that I bought has about 1800 PSI in it. That's what it came shipped with in the gun. So we're going to have to take it from 1800 to 4350, which is 300 bar. This compressor right here goes to 4500 bar, which I believe that's 310 bar is what it equivalates out to. I'm not 100% sure. This is my intro into PCP air rifles. I had never owned one, and yeah, I figured I'd videotape this along the way. So, you guys all know with PCPs, you can pump them up with a hand pump. Well, that hand pump was about $120 to $150 depending on what brand you go with. I didn't want to go down that road. I wanted something that was portable, that I could hook up to the battery in my truck if I'm out in the field to charge the air rifle with, or I can plug it into an outlet here in the garage or in the house, whatever. And that's why I ended up buying this one. This air compressor, the Spritech 4500 PSI air compressor, is $379 on Amazon. Now, let's go over everything that it has. Alright guys, let's go over everything that comes with this compressor. Now, this big box down here, I'm just using it as a stand to set everything on. It's from some lawn chairs that my wife bought, so ignore that. This is the box that the air compressor comes in. Actually not that big. I thought it was going to be a bigger box than that. It was packaged pretty well. I'm not into big unboxing videos and all that stuff, so don't ask me to do unboxing videos. I will do a thorough review on anything that I purchase. Yeah, I will do a thorough review, and I will be 100% honest on it. If it's a piece of crap, I'll let you know that it is a piece of crap. If it's decent, I'll let you know it's decent. If it's good, trust me, I'll let you know. So, yeah, we're not going over the box. So, when you're dealing, I want to go over something real quick. When you're dealing with pressures of 4,300, 4,500 PSI, that ain't no joke, okay? That could be serious, it could be deadly, it could have a lot of consequences to it. So, read the instruction manuals for your PCP air rifle, for any new compressor, anything that you get, because that is an extreme amount of pressure. So please read the instructions. There's a lot of good notes in here and everything. So you get the important user notes, you get the user manual, instruction booklet and everything. It walks you through step by step everything to do. Comes with this nice little carry bag for all the accessories that shipped with it. They're in another little clear plastic bag right now. But once you're done with them, you can drop them in here and keep them stored in here, and you know where everything is. So, all right, let's go over the bag of everything that gets shipped with it. Now, you get the fill whip hose. One thing I would say is I wish it was a little bit longer. It's only maybe 22, 24 inches, 2 feet. It is halfway decent looking. So it does have Foster fittings on both sides. And then this big container right here, it does have a water and oil separator in it. Let me show you guys here. It has one of those little cartridge filters that goes inside of it. Got a nice big O-ring on that. And the nice thing is in that kit, let me count them. There's a nice big O-ring on that, and then the filter already in there. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, plus the one in there, you have 11 filters. And if you read the instruction manual, it says to change these filters out between 10 to 15 fills. That's a lot of fills. That's a lot of shooting. And you can buy these on Amazon also. I ordered another pack of them. I think it was like $13.99 for a pack of 50 of them. Yeah, you can't beat that. So I will probably be upgrading this whip hose right here in the near future to a longer one. That's the only reason why I'll be upgrading it. I wish it was about 3 feet long at least. So that way I don't have to have the gun standing up next to the compressor because it's so short. I'd like to be able to have the gun laying down to be able to fill it up. So anyways, you got the fill whip hose. You got 11 cartridge filters. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 replacement O-rings for the big O-ring that's in that cartridge filter housing. You got a couple different Foster fittings that's in here, 2 fuses, and I can't count them all. There's a bunch of little replacement burst discs that's in here. This does have a burst disc in it. I think if it gets above 4,800 PSI or 5,000 PSI is when the burst disc will explode and it cannot compress air anymore. So, but right here's your 120 volt cord to be able to plug it into a household outlet. And then you have your 12 volt battery connections so you can charge with this portable air compressor out in the field. That is amazing to me. I know there is other companies out there that make compressors that have 12 volt capability to them, but they're usually a lot more expensive. So that's everything that it comes with in the compressor. Let's do a little bit of a close-up look of the compressor itself, and then we're going to get it set up, and we'll go over first startup and everything of it, and we'll see how it works for the very first time. Alright guys, let's go over a little bit of a close-up of this compressor. So, you have your dial gauge right here. You got your regular needle that's pointing that way right now. And then this needle right here turns with this dial. And this is where you set your pressure at. This is for the auto shut off. So we're going to bring that on around and set it at 4,300 PSI. And then you got your temperature gauge. And then you have 2 switches here. You got compressor and fan. Now, like I said, read your owner's manual because it tells you when you first plug it in to turn the fan on, let the fan get up to speed and get the fan running. And then once you have everything connected to turn the compressor on, make sure you got your whip hose and everything plugged into your gun. And then the temperature gauge. So let's go ahead and plug this sucker in and see what's going on here. Alright, so got her plugged in. Temperature gauge just showing 3 hash marks. So I bet you that won't start working until you turn the compressor on. We'll find out. So give me a second, let me get the gun and fill whip hose and everything set up, and then we'll start filling this thing up. Alright guys, got the compressor plugged in. Let's go ahead and first off let me go over the air rifle that we're going to be filling today. So my first PCP air rifle is a Air Venturi Avenger chambered in .25 caliber with the wood stock. I wanted one of the Avengers when it first came out with the plastic stock, and I kept putting it off. I was hoping someone would come out, that like Boyd's Gun Stocks or something like that, that would make a nice wood stock for it, and I never found anybody that made it. So when I found out that Air Venturi Avenger was making them with the wood stock, I was buying one instantly. So we're going to do another review over this. Haven't even shot this yet or anything. Like I said, this is the regulator gauge, but here's the tank gauge. I'm roughly 1900, 2000 PSI, I would say, somewhere around there. So we're going to fill this gun up to 4350 PSI, and the fill probe on these is right here. But like I said, we're just going to fill this up. This video is about the compressor itself today. We will be videoing the air rifle, doing a review on it, plus the scope that I bought for it, and some other accessories. So let's go ahead and get this all connected up here. We're going to take the fill whip hose. It says it does not matter which way you connect this, but with the way mine connects, that big canister could possibly, it'd be really close to the end of the barrel, might scratch it or whatnot. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to connect this end to the compressor and then this small whip end to the gun. So let's go ahead and get this connected up. Make sure that they lock in. Go ahead and get this one on here. It's locked in. So on these compressors, it says to turn the fan on first. So there might be some noise because I'm going to turn the fan on and let it run for a minute and then turn the compressor on. I have the gauge set to 4300. I mean, about as precise as I can get with looking at a gauge. So let's turn the fan on and see how noisy this bad boy is. That sucker is moving some air. Like really moving some air. It'll suck your hand right into it. It's got a cage around it so you can't damage your hand, but yeah, it'll suck your hand right up to it. So we're going to let that fan run for a little bit longer, and then we're going to turn the compressor on. Like I said, we're going from 1900, 2000 PSI to 4350. And let's see how long it takes. I'm going to get my phone out, get the stopwatch going, and see how long this actually takes. You guys ready? 0 seconds. Turned on. Or hold on. Make sure the bleed valve is closed. It says in the manual, make sure it's closed at startup. Turning it on now. Timer has started. Temperature gauge is working. That's 25.3. That thing is not loud at all. The gauge, the pressure gauge is at 2000 PSI right now. I'm going to set my phone down right here. Kind of hot out here in the garage. I'm sweating. We're up to about 2,500 PSI. We're at 30 degrees. The gun It's about 2,500 PSI also. That thing is really moving air, holy crap. Oh yeah, you can feel the air coming out the other side, just rushing out of it. Coming up on about 2,900 PSI. We're up to 33 degrees. Just about ready to hit 3,000 PSI. We're at 2 minutes and 15 seconds. We're at 34.5 degrees right now. That's Celsius, that's not Fahrenheit, okay? 3,000 PSI. About ready to come up on 3 minutes. As you see right here. 3 minutes and we're at 3,500 PSI, roughly. I thought that thing would be a whole lot louder than that. That's actually impressive. The air coming out the other side, it's not even hot. We're about 3,800 PSI, and we're at 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Coming up on 4,000 PSI. We're at almost 4 minutes. We're at 37.5 degrees Celsius. We're getting really close to the shutoff. Let's see here. Stop this right when it shuts off. Check the gun real quick. We're about 4,100 in the gun. There, it just shut off. 4 minutes. About 4,100 in the gun. There, it just shut off. 4 minutes and 37 seconds. Less than 5 minutes to take it from 1,800, 1,900 PSI all the way to 4,300 PSI. Let's shut the gun real quick. Yeah, we're about, I'd say 4,100 on the gun, maybe 42, I'm not 100. Them hash marks are so tiny. Alright, so this E4, that code right there just means that it hit the auto stop, whatever you can set it at, there is no error. So, it says to let the fan run for several minutes after the compressor shuts off. This compressor right here is meant for filling air rifles. It's not meant for filling scuba tanks or SCBA tanks. Okay? It's not meant, it says in the manual that it's not meant to fill anything more than a half a liter, 500 cc's. So that's pretty cool. It only got up to like 30, I think 37.5 degrees was the most that I've seen it get up to. We'll let that run for a couple minutes and cool down. I'm going to go ahead and bleed the air off the system. Now I'm just bleeding the air off of the whip hose. It won't come back out of the gun. Disconnect it from the gun. Disconnect it from the machine. Let's just run a little test here and see what's in this filter, if anything. Nothing. Let me get a pair of pliers and pull that out real quick, see if there's anything on the other side since it is flowing through that way. Sorry about that, I had to go get a pair of needle nose pliers. No, I guess I don't even need the pliers. There it is. No, I ain't gonna reuse that one since it hit the floor. There's nothing on either side of that filter. That is the very first use of that air compressor. And it's not even discolored. It's not even damp. It's not even wet. I'm damp. I'm sweating like crazy. But yeah, that's pretty impressive. I was lying. I'm going to reuse that filter. That's pretty nice. Temperature's back down to 28 degrees Celsius, which I have no idea what that is. I could do a conversion, but I'm a Fahrenheit kind of guy. Under 5 minutes to fill that gun up. So if you're out shooting, so the regulator on my gun, it's adjustable, but from factory, I haven't even shot this gun yet, they say that it's set. Let's turn that off. That fan really moves some air. Holy crap. I cannot believe that. So anyways, what I was saying is my air rifle from factory is set at like 2,900 PSI. I'm going to do some testing, some ballistics and everything, with different pellets and everything that I bought, and get that thing tuned in, and then eventually I want to do a tune for slugs. But anyways, that's going to be in the gun video. This video is about this compressor right here, and I'm impressed. Under 5 minutes, and it didn't even get hot. I mean, the air coming out wasn't even warm. So let's go ahead and unplug this. I'm going to do another video, not right now, not today. I'm going to do another video of running this on the battery of the truck, 12 volts, and let's just see. I'll do the same thing. I'll run the gun down to about 1900 PSI, and we know it took 4 minutes and 37 seconds to fill it all the way up to 4200 PSI, which is close enough for me. And then we'll run it at 12 volts off the battery on the truck and see if it takes longer, maybe less longer, who knows, we'll do a little bit of an experiment. So this is my first initial test and use of this Spritech 4500 PSI air compressor. I'm impressed, it worked. We're at 4200 PSI, between 41 and 4200 PSI. That's good enough for me. And that sure beats doing this with a hand pump for who knows how long. And yeah, we're going to be doing a longevity test on this. So that was the first fill. I'm going to put a piece of paper attached to it, and I'm going to start marking every single time I use it how many fills. That way I know in between 10 to 15 fills to change out the cartridge filter that goes in the whip hose. Every 10 to 15 charges is what it says, and then I can also keep track of how many charges that I have done with this. Let's say I'll do a 3-month review, a 6-month, I'll do a 3-month review, a 6-month review, a year review. If it makes it past a year, I'm going to say I got my money's worth out of it. So, alright guys, let's end it off there. You're going to be seeing this a lot more because I got a PCP air rifle now, and I'm going to be doing quite a bit of shooting with it, getting it dialed in and tuned, and I'm going to need this to fill it up, and we're going to see if this thing's actually any good or not. $379 on Amazon, shipped to your door, prime, free shipping. You cannot beat that, and it sure beats a hand pump. You figure you're going to spend $120 to $150 on a hand pump. Spend the extra $250 and get you an air compressor. Who knows? Maybe this thing in a week or a month might turn out to be a total turd. Or it might turn out to be a diamond. Who knows? All I know is I'm not hand pumping anything. So, thanks for tuning into this episode of True Passion Outdoors. I thank you guys for watching. If you would, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share it with your friends, do all that stuff that all the other YouTubers say and everything. It helps us out. It grows the channel. I'd like to get this channel growing a whole lot more. I'm going to be doing a whole lot more videos, not just air rifles. I do all kinds of stuff. So, until next episode, guys, I'll see you later. Have a great day.